Hey everyone, it's that time of year again where we all have to talk about the latest news from gaming because they all have to announce everything at the same time.
But doesn't it make it the most wonderful part of the year for
No,
us?
no.
Not if you're covering it, no.
But that's money.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, so this is our annual PrE3 discussion, which I love doing just for the name alone. I don't know how we conceptualized it, but I just love the
while
word
ago, like,
PrE3.
At least, like, it's been going quite a while.
Yeah.
So
You're welcome.
Yeah, basically, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds. We just talk about what we expect to see at E3, what we hope to see at E3, and what we think we probably won't see at E3. Do we want to start with?
Well, let me get
So I've got the schedules up here.
So who's first?
So the first one's actually Microsoft.
Let's start with, since they were usually first, EA is not holding a conference this year.
And the world wept.
Yeah, it's like on one hand, we don't have to deal with their bullshit. On the other hand, it's the one time of year where gaming can collectively come together and all hate the same thing.
Oh yeah, FIFA.
At least, okay, E3 is always
FIFA.
E3. Not E3. EA is always the most boring hour and a half of the
It's really not boring, it's awful. I'd say boring is usually Ubisoft.
Boring at its best, though, because here's the thing. Because my problem with EA mostly just falls in indifference, you know. My sports craze, if you can even call it a sports craze, died in 2001, 2002, where I no longer cared about Madden or NFL or the NBA or NHL, what have you. Those games are just not my cup of tea. If I'm going back to sports at all, it's arcade sports like Blitz or
Slugfest.
I never played Slugfest, but the point stands. Other than that, there are other titles, if they're not pushing sports, that's what I don't really care about. You know, I think last year they pushed
Anthem really hard, and they showed the same three slides over and over.
Anthem still, to me, is the biggest sting for me personally because I really wanted to like that game.
Did you play it?
No, didn't.
Okay, because
it at all.
Anthem. And I don't know how it did sales-wise, but I know that...
It's a shittier version of Destiny, that's all it is.
I heard it tanked.
Yeah, it's... So, you know, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do in regards to that, because on one hand, that's a game that's supposed to last you a good couple of years.
Services.
Yeah, but it's just like... Are they going to try to do an expansion? Are they... Like, I don't know. Like, maybe trying to see them try to scrape that off the floor might have been interesting.
Well, to be fair, we said the same thing last year regarding Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
That's fair as well. Yeah. So
every year there's a new garbage thing they have to pick up after themselves.
Unfortunately, like with EA's track record with studios, I have a feeling that Bioware is not going to exist in like 2 years.
Most likely.
That's going to sting for a lot of people though, because they're going to want. People have been wanting a new Dragon Age for forever.
It's the EA curse at this point.
From what I understand, Dragon Age 3's development got put on hold specifically for Anthem because they had to pull people off the team for it.
Regardless, EA is not there doing a conference. They're still there, but they're not doing an event.
Yeah.
We'll probably see some E3 game. Oh, God, I keep on doing it. We'll probably see some games at E3. Yeah. But I'm going to guess that we'll see some EA stuff at Microsoft instead.
Most likely.
The
problem, the thing with EA is that I think even people who watch E3 don't give a flying fuck about them at this point.
You know what, though? Call it a hunch. That might be the reason why Microsoft's conference is 2 hours this year.
Yeah, so moving on to the first actual one.
Well, hold on. We should talk about Sony, too.
Yeah.
Sony is not going to be there. However, I would place good money on a State of Play happening. I know someone on Twitter's like, no, on their blog they said number 3 is not till the fall. It's like, okay, then it's not number 3. It's the Sony State of Play E3 presentation.
Yeah.
Well, you see, the thing is that Nintendo announced their Direct for...
Sony always does it like less than a week beforehand. That was the thing.
Well, I mean, true, but also Nintendo has been doing that for their Directs too. But like Nintendo announced their E3 Direct.
Well, because everyone knows Nintendo does an E3 Direct.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like
to have zero presence at an E3 is a really clumsy move. I feel, and not to mention. The last State of Play did promise us Final Fantasy VII Remake information in June, so why not hold it like a Sony State of Play at E3?
I know Square Enix is holding one.
Yeah, Square Enix.
Sure enough.
Yeah, it's a matter of, to me, unless something catastrophic has really happened with Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and a few of the other games they showed last year, you cannot wait until the fall to like announce the date for them.
When everyone's eyes and ears are on this presentation or just this media event. it'd be foolish not to have something ready to go.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know how, at this point, some of the games that haven't come out yet, like Last of Us 2 and so on, that are now specifically for the PS4, cannot come out this year.
Because people are expecting Ghosts and Last of Us 2 to come out this year, right?
Yeah. Or at the very latest, early next year.
Yeah, so...
Is it weird that I'm more interested in Ghost of Tsushima than Last of Us 2?
That's your own thing. That's not a big deal. But regardless, I would place good money on a E3 State of Play thing happening on the same week. They won't be at E3, but they'll be there to show something. And even in competition sense, I think it'd be foolish to give Microsoft complete free reign to do whatever they want regarding next systems.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's a good enough, since Sony isn't having a full conference, then I guess that's good enough.
They won't show the PS5 there, but I think it's something to not let Microsoft just have complete free reign.
It does feel a little bit, though, like, with Sony not being at this conference and EA also not having a conference, it feels, and we do know that Sony does their own State of Play stuff now, it feels like companies are trying to pull out of E3 like steadily.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, because it's probably hella expensive.
Yeah.
Because you've kind of seen that at like the Nintendo booth, for example. Like they have to build this like theme park styled stuff in order to draw people to come to the, and that's not just them. Like you see this kind of stuff at PAX too, where everybody's building these big elaborate displays in order to get people to come to the booth, and I'm sure that costs a lot of money in order to do, on top of, how much it costs to rent the space and the advertising for it and all of that. If it's cheaper to do the Nintendo Direct State of Play model where you just announce things on your own time and the people who care will find it anyway, then I guess it makes sense that companies would be pulling
Every
out.
company wants a piece of Netflix's pie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Splintering the market.
Might as well get a cable bill.
If quote massive quotes, I'm like 99.9% sure they'll do something video related.
Yeah.
They'll probably, date Last of Us 2 or Ghost of Tsushima, or maybe both.
I'm hoping for a date for at least Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Because Last of Us 2, it's not that I'm not interested in Last of Us 2, it's just that I just kind of forgot about it.
Fair.
Much like I'm not so much forgot about it, it's more like I'm done caring about Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Which I don't know.
I am convinced that game's been pushed to PS5.
Sure.
It's highly likely.
But it's like that game has felt like it's been in development for as long as I've been born.
You are the baby too?
Yeah, I was giving a thumbs up.
Yeah.
But it's like, I love Kojima. I really do. But he is really banking on good faith.
Yeah.
And that only lasts for so long.
Because it's been like 3 years now.
It felt like it's more, honestly. Has it been only 3 years? It feels like
I think it's been longer, though.
It's been an eternity.
I've been skeptical of Death Stranding before it was cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, not that I want the game to do badly, obviously.
No, neither do I. But it's like, if my interest for it died after like the second year, because it's like they're insistent on not telling me what the hell's going on in the game.
Yeah, or even what you're doing.
And if you're not interesting me, then I have no interest or desire to buy the product.
Yeah. So hopefully, like, if that does get a trailer, then we figure out what the hell it's about, and maybe you can get excited again.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
Or secretly Metal Gear Solid 6.
Yeah.
That would be the biggest fucking laugh I would get out of me. That's make me interested immediately. It's like, just like, fooled you.
Aluminum cog.
Yeah. The baby's actually a Metal Gear.
Imagine if Konami tried to do a Metal Gear Solid 6 right now, though.
It's never going to work.
It's never
They
gonna
would,
happen.
yeah.
It is entirely Kojima's thing. They can't make it work without him.
Yeah.
They really can't.
So anyway, Microsoft.
2 hours long, apparently.
2 hours.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
World
Premiere.
premiere.
How many
Enhanced on Xbox, because we don't know what the PS5 is.
Yeah.
So this is going to be weird, because I don't think they can wait till next year to unveil Nextbox.
No, it'd have to be this year.
Yeah, because Sony's already trickle-fed some details about PS5.
Yeah, and the stuff has been pretty impressive. Like, the load times that they've shown for Spider-Man PS4, they're, like, practically instant.
Yeah.
So, that's impressive.
You can't let this opportunity go by with Sony's diminished presence to not show off your new system.
Yeah, which would make sense considering how long it is if they want to show off a bunch of games, too.
If they play their cards right, this could easily be Microsoft's year. If they just, because
Well,
last year showed a lot of
The last couple of years, they've had the best show.
Yeah.
The problem is, and has always been, why should I get this on Xbox and not a PS4 when the PS4 has exclusives?
Or get it on the computer.
Yeah, or the computer.
Why waste money on a console when my computer can play the games?
Yeah, or I'd rather invest in a computer that can also do stuff like work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
That's my problem.
I guess that if they do show next box, I guess that is probably the number one question that has to be asked is, what is going to make me want to buy a next box when I could just get, the PS5 or a good gaming computer? And I feel like the answer, at least ignoring the PS5 for a moment because that's an unknown entity, I feel like at the end of the day, there's never going to be a reason to buy a Xbox over a PC other than convenience. Like, to some extent, because Microsoft is never going to have a game exclusive to the Xbox. It will always also have a PC version because the Xbox is a PC, pretty much. It's just a PC pre-built for you.
Yeah.
So, really, I think to some extent, convenience is going to be the main factor in having an Xbox, is because, it's there, it's done, it's in a box, you plug it in, boom, you're done. So I think maybe building the machine towards that is probably the best way to go, because we're recording this on MomoCon, just because we haven't mentioned that.
Nora's here too.
I was thinking, wait, is it gonna be weird for Nora to be in this? It's like, oh no, she's been in everything we've done all weekend, and it's like, oh crap, we're recording this before we post that stuff. Yeah. So, but anyway, as I was saying, like, one of the things I was thinking about was we had to lug some consoles back and forth for different events that we were doing, and I was thinking, man, it's really easy to move the Switch around due to how small it is, and that's really convenient, as opposed to the Wii U, which is a giant, clunky, awful mess. So and then I'm also thinking, like, the Xbox One is a monster Godzilla nightmare with how big it is. So I think that form factor and convenience is probably going to be but you see, I'm sorry for monopolizing, but like, the other thing though is that Xbox has never really been about that. They've always been about like power, hardware. We've got Gears in here. Yeah. That's always been their
Which is okay, but at the same time, you have to ask yourself, at this point, what difference do the graphics make?
They don't.
Exactly. It's like, you can play it on Super 8K on your TV. It's like, okay.
Expect to hear 8K a lot.
Yeah.
This E3.
But people aren't even on 4 yet.
Yeah, it's like, I don't even have a 4K TV.
They'll push it anyway.
Yeah.
I know.
You got an E3, that's a free space for your bingo card. Is 8K.
8K.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you want to try and entice me to get an Xbox instead of a PS5, here are the things. One, a lot of convenience in terms of making the size, either the size or the space within it, work better. I do not want a fucking VCR, original 1980s VCR on my countertop. 2, backwards compatibility is a big issue now. You need to go, you have the system, you have the Xbox One set up to play basically every 360 game.
They have gotten better.
And some Xbox.
They have, I should say that they have gotten better about that. It started off, their backwards compatibility started off with like 10 things.
Yeah.
So they've gotten a lot better. I hope they continue that trend.
So if you really want to make it interesting, play all Xbox One games and all Xbox 360 games. Obviously, the first original Xbox is kind of a weird situation.
But
so if you cannot, you need to play all 3 of them at this point. You have no excuse at this point.
Yeah.
The final one is really push that Game Pass thing, which is a great idea. The problem is you're kind of stuck with either older stuff and digital versions.
Yeah.
Digital versions are great, but you have to give people a monetary investment to do so.
Well, they're not going to... I don't think it would work with physicals, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Game Pass won't work with physicals for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So you need to push the Game Pass for more recent and current stuff. Even if you say, okay, you bought the game, but if you're on Game Pass, you get this pack of DLC things for free. Give them some kind of monetary reason to do so beyond just the whole Game Pass system. Because, it's great that you get games for free, but they're digital only. Which is fine, but you need to figure out a way to say, okay, you're spending this money on this Game Pass, digital versions are now significantly cheaper no matter what.
Also, can we get rid of that bullshit DRM for the love of God? Because one thing a few weeks ago at the time of this recording, and it's not just for I'm not sure if Xbox One or Microsoft does this either, but I'm more bringing it up because it's just an issue I have entirely. But a couple of weeks ago, my internet shut down completely because something happened outside, and I was stuck. I couldn't do anything for work, and I figured, you know what, I got some thing on my backlog on a PS4. I downloaded it digitally. Let me go play it. I couldn't play it because I had to go online to verify the thing, even though I purchased the game and downloaded it into my PS4. I cannot touch it. Can we just get rid of that entirely?
I would hope so, because if you remember the year they announced the Xbox One, the
always online connection thing was a massive boo.
Yeah, because and then the Sony was immediately after them, and they were able to on the fly be like, okay, people did not like that, did not like that, did not like that. We are going to change our presentation literally right now. No, always online DRM. Cue applause.
I would honestly say that the always online stuff might have been what killed the Xbox's sales to begin with.
Oh no, that presentation absolutely killed the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
It shot it in the foot before it even came out, and the console before that, the PlayStation 3's launch E3 presentation shot that system in the foot.
Yeah.
It happened with the Wii U too. Like the pre-reveal stuff for the Wii U was so underwhelming.
Which is why it's important for Microsoft to really not blow this up.
I think they can do it though, because again, they've had arguably the best show for like 2-3 years in a row.
The thing is, those have all just been showing games though.
Yeah.
Remember, everyone kind of rolls their eyes and doesn't give a shit when they announce, the Xbox One X. If anything, all we do is make fun of the name.
Yeah.
Mind you, those were incremental upgrades to the current system, so we'll see how it goes. That's the biggest question mark for Microsoft. I'll be curious how it goes because, based on what we know on the PS5 and being somewhat of a brand loyalist to an extent, the PS5 is doing everything I need it to. So you're going to really need to wow me if you want me to jump ship.
It falls under exclusives, as it always does with me with Microsoft. And again,
they're fine systems.
I was a fine system. I was a 360 boy. Like around that on that generation, I was Team 360 because I loved the system itself. I thought it had really good games, and that's all I needed. But now that I'm older, wiser, and I got a gaming computer, I fall under what I could only get for that system, and I'm just last year they showed promise by buying all those companies and indie developers. That's great, but this year you need to show me the fruits of their labor.
They're not going to have something ready in a year though. They might have we might see some teasers. Like maybe it's
world premieres.
It's E3. So you can expect my CGI only trailer count
or
on my Twitter.
Or tease count.
Tease count, yeah.
Yeah, but so they're not going to have anything like maybe if they're doing some of the teams are doing some smaller stuff.
Well, I mean, potentially the bigger studios they bought could also have projects further along that Microsoft has inherently bought as a result of buying the studios.
I need a reason to get a game on Xbox besides it being a timed exclusive.
Yeah, because I don't give a shit about
time. That. Yeah, I think timed because people will wait. We've seen that with Tomb Raider.
I think I think the company's drastically overestimated how much value that would have.
Yeah. So I guess we can talk games for a moment. What kind of stuff do we expect to see, and what kind of stuff we would like to see? Why don't we get pipe dreams out of the way first? Like Banjo.
No Banjo.
It's not gonna. Banjo probably won't happen, but it would be sick if it did.
They will show the new Battletoads game.
Probably, yeah. I have no reason to believe that this would happen, but if they made Dead Rising 5, that's been multi-console before, but they've always kind of preferred Xbox for that. So
it's a more westernized property.
Yeah, but I got into Dead Rising 6 months ago or whatever, and I really like the game.
Well, that's up to Capcom though.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is that Capcom Vancouver made Dead Rising 2, 3, and 4, and people do not like 3, and people really do not like 4. So Capcom Vancouver got shut down. So theoretically, if they were going to be making a new game, it would be Capcom Japan. Yeah. So
Microsoft's always the hardest to nail down because it's 95% third parties.
Yeah. I don't think do they have a first party studio at all?
They have a few.
Microsoft Studios.
Yeah, they have smaller stuff. The problem is they don't have any IPs worth a damn.
Yeah.
That's why they always have that Lucky Seal where it's anyone who plays mascot platformers already plays Mario and Sonic and shit.
Yeah.
When was the last Halo?
The last Halo was... I think it was Halo 5, which was a couple years ago.
I mean, more importantly, Anniversary Collection on PC. Hoo-ha.
Yeah.
Yay!
Thanks, Xbox.
Wasn't the Anniversary Collection really bad?
I think it had to go under a significant patch overhaul to become playable. I'm just off the top of my head. I could be wrong on that one.
Yeah, I mean, as EA's not going to be there, I imagine we'll see, the sports, their Battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll probably also see, Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
I hate that name.
Yeah.
It's got to sell, though, because of the name.
Well, because people are fucking stupid.
Well, here's the thing. Does Call of Duty hold the same weight that it does?
No.
No,
Not anymore.
because,
the whole first-person shooter craze is, I don't want to say dead.
It's not dead.
It's
But it's significantly lower than it was during the 360.
it's not the new hot thing anymore.
Yeah.
It's not a
because-
commodity.
like people bought Black Ops 4, but they bought it because of the Battle Royale mode. It wasn't because of the campaign.
Well, yeah, I don't think people have cared about the campaigns in Call of
No.
Duty since like Modern Warfare 2, or maybe like the first Black Ops.
So the next one is Modern Royale.
Yeah, it'll have a battle royale mode, of course it will.
Yeah. I mean, they'll show off the first-person shooters, and they'll have their first-person shooters and sports segment from EA and Activision and all that, and all the dude bros will be super happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of it just falls under... The thing about the Microsoft nowadays especially is that they went ahead and and announced all of those companies that they purchased last year, and that's great, but it's a slow process.
Yeah.
And right now we're just kind of in an influx of...
Oh, right.
We're going to make new IPs. We need to see something soon, otherwise I have nothing to be excited for.
Yeah,
Okay, so just I know we're interrupting, but EA is doing stuff. They're having small EA Play.
Yeah,
streams.
that's their streaming. That's like the Nintendo Treehouse.
Oh, okay.
That's
then
not
no.
like an actual announcement thing. We
okay.
have people on the floor talking to people playing games. If
They
no one
might-
gives a shit because it's EA.
They might announce something smaller,
Scott?
but
Sports.
you know.
Sports.
Okay, so
Thanks, Scott.
all right. So
Waste of time as always.
okay. So anyway, sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt.
So yeah, I can't really make any predictions for Microsoft because it's 95% third parties, and it's just whoever has something coming along.
Yeah.
So the big thing is next box. They have to show it, and they really have to wow it because even though we've never seen the PS5, it's backwards compatible, solid state drive, so it boots up super quickly.
Yeah. It's not quite PS2 killing Dreamcast levels of hype, but they need to do something this year to stifle it.
Yeah. Otherwise, Sony's going to come out with PS5 news probably at the end of the year or early next year, and no one will give a shit about.
And I'm not overly cynical. I like to think that Microsoft learned from their Xbox One presentation because they were off the hype of the 360 and they made them wildly successful. So
we can do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah,
now.
they had their head up in the clouds, and that's fine. I mean, it's understandable. I'm not saying it's fine, but it's understandable why they thought they could get away with what they did.
And then they forgot that their
Then
console
forgot
doesn't sell
it's
anymore
like,
outside
yes.
North America.
Like, oops, loyal consumers. I'm not used to this feeling. Yeah. So I would like to think they learned something from the initial Xbox One presentation, learn what not to do for your next box. And I think they'll pull through.
Hopefully. We'll see. Competition is always good.
Yeah. So anyway,
Next up
is Bethesda.
Yeah.
Doom Eternal. I think
Tom
that's
Howard,
right.
Tom Howard, Tom Howard, Todd Howard, Todd Howard. You
Comes
get
in a-
Skyrim. You get
Yeah,
Skyrim.
like you said,
They
comes
made
in a
the joke
giant-
last year, though.
Comes in a giant Todd Howard float, and fog comes out of his mouth, and Todd Howard comes out of his mouth.
He comes out in a Todd Howard
Todd Howard.
Shriner.
So, yeah,
It's like a Todd Howard Matryoshka doll.
cosplaying as Todd Howard.
Okay, so
Doom Eternal's going to be their big game this year.
Yeah,
I
it has to
Yeah.
be Doom Eternal.
Especially after Fallout 76 completely shit the bed.
Yeah.
well, Rage just came out, and
nobody cares.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard kind of thing.
I mean, I heard it's been just kind of okay. Which,
Like I've
It's not
heard,
very- it's not very angry.
Which is still more of a game than Rage 1 was.
yeah.
I've heard that the shooting is good, but not everything else. But I also felt like that game was trying to be about more than just the shooting, because Doom is
It's
the
about
game
the
that's
shooting.
just the shooting.
That's just the shooting.
So yeah, I mean, of course, Doom is Doom. Like I don't know.
And after 2016, I completely trusted id Software and that team to make
Yeah,
this
because
game.
they really knocked it out of the park with Doom. Doom was a fantastic game.
Yeah, so...
And also, Doom was a fantastic game.
Yeah, Doom was
Yes.
fantastic, yes.
Yes, but yeah, I'm really excited for Doom Eternal. That's one of the games I'm most hyped for going into the later half of this year, provided it comes out in 2019.
Turn it upside down.
Yeah.
Mood Eternal.
Mood.
So
Wood Eternal.
Wood.
Okay.
It's a giant forest.
So my question is, do you think they try to salvage 76 at all?
No.
No.
It's too broken, it's too dead in the water. No,
I've been keeping up with it. The answer is no.
The answer is
Yeah,
no.
it's,
Okay.
it's completely dead.
Yeah.
All right.
It's dead, Jim. It's dead Todd.
Okay, so have they officially announced 6? Elder Scrolls 6?
yeah,
They announced it
Yes.
last year. They didn't show anything but a title card.
Yeah, so we might see.
We'll see something.
Yeah.
I think we'll get a subtitle.
I think
they also.
That's it.
I think we'll get a CGI trailer.
We'll at least see it. I don't think
Yeah.
they could tease us last year and then have nothing to show this year.
People are expecting Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's aside from Doom, which is their big game this year, that's their big game going forward.
Yeah, so that...
There's also the space kind of satellite thing they showed last year in a tease thing that I'm remembering.
I don't remember that at all.
I didn't watch
They didn't
Bethesda,
tell us what
so-
the game was. Just said they were making some kind of space game.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, again, Bethesda's weird. They're super hit and miss because they have a bunch of proprietary studios like id. It's like their games are either really, really good or they're really, really bad.
Horrible,
Yeah.
And
No
it's kind of
in-between.
no in between.
I just, I think that this might be foolish to say, but I kind of just hope that, like, Doom, I don't expect this so much, but with Elder Scrolls 6, like, maybe this is just me being cynical because I never played Skyrim, but I kind of want the game to, like, work when it comes out, because that's...
It's
That's a cynical
That's
thought.
my dream.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's a cynical thought.
but that it just always really bothered me that everybody said, "Oh, Skyrim is this amazing game," and it's just like, cool. How many mods do you run on it? Oh, 12. And I'm like,
I mean,
it's not that. Then you're not playing Skyrim.
I mean,
it's
even,
not the same game.
I remember when in college Skyrim came out for the first time. It was still a good game. Yeah, it's buggy,
Yeah.
but you can still have a good game within the bugs.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know. I've always just been really cynical about it, and maybe that's just me.
I mean, I'm also someone who can get enjoyment out of fucking with the game if I know it's buggy. I mean, that's not the intent, but you can get some enjoyment out of it that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I think especially since in these past couple of years, studios have been pushing a lot towards polish is another thing. I think, because everybody gave Ubisoft crap when they released whichever Assassin's Creed it was, when the person's face went inside out and whatnot. So I feel like, I don't know if people will be as forgiving of them if Elder Scrolls 6 is similar to the level of buggy that some of the Fallouts and other Elder
No,
Scrolls
they won't
have been.
because they've had way too much time to make a not Fallout, Elder Scrolls 6.
Bethesda's lost a lot of
Goodwill at this point.
over 76 because Fallout 3 was pretty good. People like that. People really liked New Vegas, who got to play it anyways.
4
is okay, and then 76 came out, and that was what got people really.
I wonder what happened to 5 to 75.
I mean, they've lost a lot of goodwill in general just because of being just kind of dicks about some things.
Oh yeah, I've heard some stuff about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it has the goodwill. Bethesda still has enough to make their last chance with Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
If they fuck up with Elder Scrolls 6, they might be in serious trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big trouble.
Because everyone makes a bad game here and there. It happens.
But on the scale of Fallout 76...
not that bad, but the point is, you're given a couple of games
Yeah.
to turn things around.
Hey, look, work for Sonic.
So that's Bethesda. Do we have anything else to say about them?
I don't. Their show's
think so.
usually one of the shorter ones, right?
Yeah, because they're a smaller or third party.
All right. So next up is Ubisoft.
Oh boy.
Oh,
If we're going to rank on a totem pole of indifference of presentation,
Ubisoft
EA's
is right
on top. Ubisoft's right underneath them.
Yeah.
So
I
you
don't
see,
care a lot for Ubisoft.
Ubisoft used to get by on being the wacky one, but they've been so boring the past couple of years that
Bring back Mr. Caffeine.
there's been
never coming back down.
there's been no stupid shenanigans with the past couple of years, which made Ubisoft really boring.
It's like they
I hate using the word cringe because I just find it's overused.
They make you
buzzword
cringe.
That folks, it's not even, I don't know, cringe and wince are the same thing.
Basically.
But it's more like
They're gamer talk anytime.
If I have to
How
watch,
do you do, fellow kids?
if I have to watch another fake multiplayer game session where
Hey, we found something over here. I'm on my way. Hey, cool. Look at all this loot.
yeah.
Whoa.
How do you do, gamers?
It feels like it's written by a committee.
It is written by a committee.
But there's that. I'm sure we'll get a Tom Clancy something, a Division
Tom
something.
Clancy.
The- I think the last chance that
We do
this...
that every year, and I was like, dude, that was 8 years ago.
I don't care.
Let it go.
No.
The dream will never die.
No.
but...
I mean, Ubisoft is weird because there's usually good interspersed within the pad.
Yeah, but I think sorry to interrupt. This is their last chance for them to get me to turn around on Beyond Good and Evil 2, which I'm really disappointed to say because I know people have been waiting for that game for like 15 years or something like that.
Yeah.
But last year rubbed me so wrong where they had like, oh, you can put your art into the game, but we're not going to pay you for it. And
we also have this CGI monkey person say fuck a lot.
Yeah.
And not tell you anything about how the game works.
How do you do, fellow kids?
How do you do?
So this is like their last chance to turn me around on because I think they're going to show that.
I think Beyond Good and Evil 2 has to be their big game this year to show off a lot.
Because that game, they've been showing off that game for like 2-3 years now. Yeah. So I'm sure they probably want it out this year, I would imagine.
I'd like to hope so.
So...
And it's out today.
Pull a Sega Saturn. As far as other stuff goes, obviously Oncel's still working on Beyond Good and Evil 2, so I don't expect any Rayman stuff, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Beyond maybe, some Switch stuff.
I think a Rayman, something of Rayman will be good for a Switch announcement.
I'd like a Rayman Origins.
Port Rayman 2.
Legends
Port
combo.
Rayman 2.
Well, they already have Rayman Legends on Switch. But I'd like Rayman Origins, and a lot of people say, but Rayman Origins levels, there's already like half of them on Legends. And I'm like, yeah, but you're missing all the connective tissue, which is important. Because, this is off topic, but I don't like Legends as much as Origins. So, like, even though a good chunk of Origins levels are in Legends, I'd also like Origins, because it's arguably my favorite 2D platformer ever.
I'd like a original collection of 1, 2, and 3.
That would also be good too.
Just so we can have 2 on the system, so the Switch can officially be a real system because it has Sonic the Hedgehog 1, Resident Evil 4, and then Rayman 2. It'll officially be a real system then.
That's true.
I don't know what else to really expect from them because they've been pretty standard on their Tom Clancy shooter.
You say Tom Clancy.
Yes.
It's just instant now.
Yes. They had their Tom Clancy shooter. They had their Just Dance. They have their somewhat interesting kind of artsy game made by Ansel or someone else. And they have kind of their little subsidiary stuff.
I'm gonna put out a wild guess and say we're probably gonna get whatever the follow-up to Assassin's Creed Odyssey is gonna be.
Well, yeah, there's always a new Assassin's Creed.
Well, I hate that it's called that. Well, people liked Odyssey, right?
Yeah, Odyssey was good.
For the most part.
Yeah, Mario Odyssey's pretty fun.
Yeah, it really was a good Mario game. Yeah.
Assassin's Creed is so stupid hit and miss at this point. I don't know why they bother making it a yearly release.
They haven't. Like,
Odyssey.
Odyssey was 2 years. All right.
Oh boy.
Apparently that was enough to give it enough polish to be playable. So.
Yeah, fair enough.
So if they held off,
they also have their Far Cry game every year.
Yeah.
Which that series has to be on massive burnout for people at this point.
It's like I don't even follow Far Cry that much. But after 5 was last year, and was it New Dawn? I think it was. Mm-hmm. Was earlier this year. It was like, Christ, can you get Far Cry some time off, please?
Matt will still buy it though.
Just give it a break. Oh yeah, Matt will always buy it because Matt's a sheep. I'm kidding, Matt. But I don't know. I feel Far Cry 5 left sour taste.
And a lot of people's
mouths. So I would think for the benefit of giving the series a breathing room, just wait till next year at the very least to announce something. I'm
guessing, I'm trying to think of other things.
They may have. They've been on good terms, so maybe one surprise kind of switchy game.
Maybe Watch Dogs, but I feel like Watch Dogs is also something that people kind of lost interest with because
people like 2. Mostly because it's mostly doing the shit people wanted to do in 1.
Yeah, but Watch Dogs 1 was still one of the biggest disappointments.
Yeah, because that game looked so good when they first started showing it off, and then the real game came out, and it's like,
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm struggling to think of anything else that they could. There's that Starlink game that
that's officially done.
That's done. Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's a decent Star Fox clone.
The problem is it didn't sell very well, and the toys haven't been selling.
Yeah, well, I think that they were late on the Toys to Life kind of bundle, and they can't. If it's a new IP, they can't get away with it being.
Well, that's why they brought in the Star Fox stuff.
Yeah, to try to boost some, which I think people
bought
the Star. I think people bought the Star Fox toys. Yeah. I don't know if they bought any of the other ones.
If they'd started off with the Star Fox bundle, then they could have maybe made some off of that, like the way
They really should have
Skylanders
just.
did.
What they really should have done is once they worked it with Nintendo, just scrapped the idea and made a Star Fox game.
The problem is that Starlink, the original Starlink, when was it originally released?
Like a year, last
yeah,
year.
the Star Fox game was part of the launch.
Was part of the launch. Okay.
Yeah, that's why everyone bought it on the Switch.
Then there's no reason.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying.
Okay.
It just flopped.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. At that point, they should have just scrapped the idea and made a Star Fox game.
Hold on, let me do some gamer research here. Like Starlink
Release date,
sales by
system.
Yeah.
98% Switch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so they ended production of the physical toys in April.
Yeah.
All right. So, it did not do very, very well because
Yeah.
it sold 87,000 units first week in retail. That is
That's very low.
That's
And I
bad.
imagine like 95% of those were Switch for Star Fox stuff.
Probably, yeah. So, because Star Fox, honestly, like, I mean, quality of the games aside, it's not a huge seller, you know. It's a on-rail space shooter, so it's not going to. It's got its hardcore fans, of course, but it's not like a big draw.
No.
Like if it were a Mario crossover.
It's not a premier first party.
No, it's a
Never was really.
It's a B tier franchise for Nintendo.
Yeah. And that's not saying they're B tier games, but that's a different.
It's what Nintendo sees.
Yeah.
There's a likelihood that most of you listening to this have only experienced Fox through Melee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Melee. He doesn't exist.
Yeah, he
in
doesn't
Melee.
exist in any other game. Yeah.
Fox
Everyone is here except Fox.
Oh my god, it's Fox from Melee.
Mission complete.
Mission complete. Mission complete. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so after Ubisoft is
Square Enix.
We're gonna see that. We're gonna see another Final Fantasy VII trailer for the third time that day.
Is, I'd say the focus is 7 Remake and nothing but. Well, okay.
Well, no.
The biggest focus will be 7 Remake.
Yeah, they do have some other things.
Yeah.
So let's save Final Fantasy VII.
They have Oninaki, which is the Tokyo RPG Factory game, which I think looks pretty good.
They could show.
They have Octopath Traveler 2 supposedly in the works.
2? Really?
Or at least something within that frame.
I know that it was getting ported to other systems.
Yeah, it's getting ported to Steam, and they basically announced that they're making another one.
So is Kingdom Hearts getting more DLC?
It is.
Yeah.
It is? Okay,
So
they could
those
show.
are
That was announced at a concert of all things, and I hate them for doing that shit.
Yeah.
But they will the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC will likely be announced at this conference.
Yeah.
I expect to see a Shadowbringers trailer, probably the same one we've seen before.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Something small, but enough.
Hopefully, we'll see what Yoko Taro's been working on.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Yoko Taro's working on 14 right now.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
Because they're doing a collaboration with Nier for
Yeah.
the Alliance Raid stuff in 14.
Yoko Taro, I just wanted an excuse to play MMO.
Oh no, he tried to get out of it. Yoshi P was like, "No, you're playing the whole game."
But I don't want to. Yoko Taro seems like the nicest guy, but he gets bullied at work.
It's gonna be at the end of his day, the mask with that little teardrop next to it.
Okay, so I'm gonna surprise people here by saying that I actually don't really want them to show too much Dragon Quest stuff this year
Because of 11.
Like, here's the thing: 11 is a port. Like 11 to Switch is a port.
They'll have a trailer for it.
They'll have it. Like, I mean, you know, if they spend 5 minutes on trailers for that in Builders 2, then fine, whatever. But Builders 2 has been out in Japan for like 6 months and is coming out in a month after the.
No, I don't think they'll show anything for Builders. I think they'll show some stuff for 11S. Basically, like, here are some of the new quests.
Yeah,
here's
like
the new music.
Well, the fact that they're finally using the orchestral soundtrack, thank God. I don't know how they tied Koichi Sugiyama to a chair and let him do that, but you know, whatever. But again, like, it's a port. It's going to be mostly the same. Like, I guess seeing some live footage so that we know how it runs would be neat. But again, like, it's going to be mostly the same game, so I don't need to see more.
3 or 4 minutes to tell you the updated stuff will be fine.
The only thing I will say is unless if they announce, and I don't think this is going to happen.
12?
But they're not going to announce 12, no. Dragon Quest Monsters 3, they announced, like, they showed some sketches for it. We haven't gotten a Dragon Quest Monsters game in the West for a while because there was Joker 3, which came out in Japan in, like, 2013 and never came over here. So Dragon Quest Monsters 3 is going to be a prequel to 11 and, like, have some of the characters as kids. So if they show that, then cool, I'll be happy. Otherwise, you know, it's all stuff that we know about. There's not much that they can show. So if they don't show Dragon Quest and focus on other stuff, I'll actually be okay with that. So, yeah. You should buy 11.
Is the sky falling outside?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like, again, like Dragon Quest 11 was my favorite game last year, and it's amazing. And if you haven't played it, get the Switch version. But I've played 95% of what that port's gonna have, so they don't need to show it.
You're gonna get it anyway, though.
I know, I am gonna get it. Like, duh, I'm a sheep.
Oh, I'm weak.
But it's more that they don't have to show anything because it's all stuff that we all already know. So they're better off trying to show the other stuff that they have, and then maybe closer to launch try to get other people into it. Is I guess more what I'm saying.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I guess on to 7 remake then.
Yeah.
Barring anyone throwing wild predictions out there for stuff that no one would actually be able to guess. Outside of cosmic intervention.
The thing is, what is there to predict
An actual
other than
third
what we
parasite
already... Well, the one thing everyone wants for this out of everything is the Tifa reveal. They want to see what Tifa looks like.
Yeah.
She's gonna look like, she's gonna look like how she did in the Advent
Children, yeah. With a more like restructured face, I would feel.
Yeah.
Whatever, that's fine. We've already kind of we've already listen. I would love Big Titty Tifa because that's how I know her from the original games, and that's fine. But they will likely modernize or reduce her breast size because it'd be too distracting otherwise.
I feel like people don't understand how big a D cup actually is because that's what she's got in Advent Children. Her boobs are still big.
Yeah, they're still pretty big, and she's got like the double vest.
There's a difference between big and anime big.
Yeah.
Like if you saw a person in real life with boobs as big as anime boobs, you would think that they have balloons in their chests.
Yeah.
It's,
The trailer should begin with her boobs actually like 3 times as big, and it starts with her calling Barrett a retard in the Shinra climb up, because that is probably the most infamous line she had in the original game, which is likely going to be translated.
Yes.
But it's like one of the most memorable lines she has. But other than that, I feel that it's a pipe dream to think they'll be giving us a release date for the first part.
I was going to say, if they're really intent on episode 1, on doing like episodes, you need to give us some kind of vague window.
I agree.
Yeah.
If you're going to hype up the next date for more information, that has to come with a release date of some sort.
Yeah,
because you're setting expectations too high.
Yeah,
for something that already had really high expectations.
Yeah, so I don't need a specific date. You need to tell me winter 2019. Or very early 2020.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3, basically.
Yeah, you need to give me some kind of idea of when the first one's coming out, so we can hold you to it.
Yeah, I mean...
Because if you just give us a coming soon, we're not sure...
Why bother?
Yeah, why fucking bother?
Yes. Then it's just... It's still in the works. It's like, we've known that.
Yeah, it's like we've known that since 2016 or whenever they first showed it.
So here's my problem with the episode model, though, is the thing. So let's say they do release episode 1... December 2019. We're not going to get episode 2 until 2022
or something like that
because it's Square, and of course, like I would bet some decent money that they have, if not started, only barely started anything outside that first
My argument
episode.
Against that is
with the
high. 7 is really high profile.
Yeah. You
cannot have people waiting that long between episodes for something that was originally in one package 20 years ago.
Yeah. Here's the other thing. If they release an episode 1, that basically ties up to an engine and a gameplay style.
Yeah.
Nomura cannot change his mind and do something else because he's weird and
it is set in stone.
Yeah, he cannot waffle again during production. If episode 1 comes out, that's it. That's how the game works. You have to
directing this.
Yes.
I thought he was just returning as a producer for it, because he didn't direct. So.
He's ultimately in charge of it, though, is the thing. Okay.
So, but
anything he says goes.
The other thing, though, is that they've been saying stuff like this is going to be episode 1 is going to be a full game. Like, do you think people are going to pay? Like, how much do you think they're going to charge for it?
It depends on how much content.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was
full price.
Because if that's the case, then it's basically like the next game is the sequel.
I would if they're going to charge full price. What I imagine how it's going to happen is. Episode 1 is going to be the entirety of the Midgar stuff.
Yeah.
Specifically, but they're going to expand a lot more of it.
But that's absurd because Midgar's like an 8-hour portion of the game.
Yeah, but if you charge it for $60, regardless of the graphical quality, you need to make it at least like a 20-hour segment.
Also, obviously, given the remake and everything that comes with it. The Midgar section I think will be at least twice as long with stuff they might add in between.
Yeah.
So
as long as they keep the Don Corneo stuff.
So Nomura is directing the remake.
He is directing.
Yeah.
Along with someone who I don't recognize named Naoki Hamaguchi. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. How long is Kingdom Hearts 3?
Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah, if you're playing it normally.
For good pace, about 24, 25 hours.
Okay,
If
so...
it's about that long, I'll accept that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like if you're gonna be charging full price, then it needs to be
I'd
more
be
than
fine
a
with that.
Ideally, very likely not going to happen. It's only 3 episodes long, and each episode is a disc from the original game.
Well, I don't think that would really work because the last disc is just the last dungeon.
We add more to it, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Make it
true,
worth
but
it.
I think that they would probably chop disc 2 in half. Well, like they
Well,
would maybe
I-
like 2/3
take
of disc
the
2.
entire game and just break it into thirds.
Or maybe like have the last third be everything after Cloud's Fever Dream
I
or
think it
something.
would, especially for those for nostalgia's sake and for the hardcore fans, they know Final Fantasy VII as a 3-disc experience. You break it up into 3 episodes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not saying they have to have the same cutoff points because otherwise, episode
3 is like
episode 1 would be the meatiest of the episodes, and episode 2 and 3 are kind of sloppy seconds.
Yeah.
But I feel just for the sake of consistency from the original release, it needs to be 3 episodes long.
Yeah.
Fair.
Also, I looked up who Naoki Hamaguchi is. He started work on Final Fantasy XII, but the most notable thing he's done is Lightning Returns, which he was the main programmer on.
So he's experienced with the game.
Yeah.
handling. Okay. Well, that's fine because I feel like quality aside, they're functionally sound games.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like they're broken.
like Final Fantasy, you know,
The Final Fantasy 13, 1, 2, 3 work.
Yeah.
yeah, like I mean, you know, before the PS2 era, Final Fantasy didn't always work, but they've been solid for a long time.
Yeah.
And like for how trashy Lightning Returns is, like it's still a fun game from what I've heard.
Okay.
13-2 especially.
Yeah.
But
So-
that's that point.
7, if they don't announce at least a window, then what's the fucking point?
I agree.
Yeah.
Well,
Show us Tifa, give us a release date.
Like at least give us a release date, and if you have to delay it later, then fine. At least we have a release date.
well, I mean, not fine because you know it's just keeping up the Square stereotype, but.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but
But at least it would mean that work is going along, you know,
Yeah.
because if they don't show a remake, if they don't show a release date, then it's kind of like this game is never coming out, which is, you know, already what people kind of believe because they announced it like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
so anything else on Square?
No, not really. I mean, I would like to get more details on what the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC will be.
They'll talk about it.
Well, what was the world that they announced?
They didn't announce a new world. They just
No.
announced more
DLC.
content. And
Yeah, but no, there was a world announced for DLC.
I don't recall there ever being a world being announced.
Hold on. You have your Nora, can you Google that,
Yeah.
please? Thank you. Yeah, but like
It's a pipe dream. I know. I think they announced like separate episodes. That, like they're going to 15 way, where they're releasing like episodes for certain characters.
And then they'll cancel the last
They'll cancel the last one, which is the Final Fantasy stuff.
So like, well, so
Little Fred
that's
never gets a break.
so no, that's the thing. Like, I didn't know much about Kingdom Hearts 3. I was shocked that there was no Final Fantasy
Final
stuff in
Fantasy
it
at
at all.
No.
Except for movies.
Because like the thing is that like the Cloud and Sephiroth stuff is very iconic for Kingdom Hearts, and I was like, they're gonna wrap that up, right? And
Nope.
No.
So it doesn't seem that they've introduced another world. However, they're doing a story chapter about Xion.
Yeah.
Okay, then I must have.
They have to give her all the DLC to just explain her fucking appearance in the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck Square.
Nomura comes up. She just appeared out of nowhere
going to
because I like
Okay.
her design.
Okay, you know what?
I'm Tetsuya Nomura with an important PSA. You're going to buy it anyway.
Okay, so you know what? Kick Square in the shins. Bring back Enix stuff. Okay, we want to see Terranigma. We want to see ActRaiser.
ActRaiser
Come on.
3.
ActRaiser 3. Come on, have ActRaiser 3 just kicks Final Fantasy Remake off the
Bullet
stage.
Witch 2.
Yeah, Bullet Witch. Oh my god. I remember Bullet Witch. Holy
Guess
shit.
who's coming to Smash? Not more Final Fantasy.
We got Bullet Witch, bitch.
ActRaiser guy would be the most OP character though, because it would like you're God controlling the night. So not only can you like beat people up with the night, you can like set everybody else on fire randomly.
Yeah,
it's like you're playing as the SimCity mayor.
And then you
know?
build the house on top of their corpse.
It's just like, you know, if SimCity Mayor was playable in Smash Brothers, he'd just bring in Godzilla every 5 seconds.
Roller coaster tycoon guy launches a roller coaster into the flying field and blows everyone
It's
up.
like the Animal Crossing bus assist trophy, only it's a roller coaster and it's like twice as fast.
Yeah.
Suddenly you start taking damage because they made it pay $5 to use the bathroom.
Oh my God.
Anyway, next chapter.
Devolver Digital. So you know,
the shit posting.
so us shit posting now is on topic.
Yeah, they has the English version of Metal Wolf Chaos come out yet?
No, it hasn't.
That's the game where you have a mech as the
Where you play as the
Yes.
president. The
Yes.
president of the United States!
There's some jokes that have not aged super great because it was made during the Bush administration.
Yeah.
So it's got jokes about like the Florida recount and shit like that.
Oh boy.
And how the vice president is an evil sack of shit that must be stopped at all costs.
Yeah.
Richard!
There are so many jokes I want to make right now.
I'm sending you the data now, Mr. President. The secretary is just the biggest, like, America's amazing person ever.
I want to
Cancel
preserve.
them. I have to save America.
I want to preserve the comment section, so I'll refrain from making any more political jokes.
I'm hoping we get like a Metal Wolf release date because it's way past it.
It was announced last year, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
announced
so-
last
Yeah,
year.
they gotta give us something.
What else do they do?
They should
A lot
post.
of indie.
Okay, well then, you know what? I'll be happy because they did Gris, however, and that game was fun. Well, not really fun, but it was engaging and pretty.
They didn't
So-
make it, but they also published Katana Zero.
Oh yeah, Katana Zero is trippy. It's an acid trip.
Yeah, it's an
but
acid trip, but it's a Hotline Miami I can get down with.
Yeah.
Its gameplay is way more engaging.
Did you end up finishing
I didn't
it?
finish it, no.
Okay, because I didn't 100% it, but I did finish it. It was engaging and trippy. Like, I was bad at it.
Yeah.
But I recommend playing the whole thing all the way through.
Yeah.
It's short, too. You can beat it in, like, 4 or 5 hours.
That's the kind
so.
of impression I got from it.
Yeah,
So-
But yeah, it's a shitpost. It kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah, it's a shitpost conference. They're always shitposters.
Yeah.
That's why they go at like 1 in the morning.
Looking to see how much they up the gore level this year.
Devolver Digital is, 10 o'clock p.m.
So
Yeah.
1 a.m. Eastern time, I imagine.
No, at 10 p.m.
Eastern.
Eastern.
Okay, fair
Okay.
enough.
Still pretty late for a presentation.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I know Limited Run is also doing a mini show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like them a lot.
Here's this
Yeah.
game coming to physical release. And they're just that for 20 minutes.
I mean, to be fair, that's fine.
There's the PC gaming show.
Which is what that's where you get your RTSs.
Yeah.
Age of Empires 4. They announced that's Microsoft. But Age of Empires 4 was announced like 2 years ago, and I want it. Alright? Okay, alright, off topic.
Right, yeah, the PC gaming show is weird because anything can show up, really.
Yeah, it's kind of a wild card.
Yeah.
But
they-
also
they don't-
kind of bleeds into what we were saying earlier is like everything that we mentioned was likely already in the Microsoft conference.
Yeah.
So what else do you
Yeah,
say?
that PC gaming show is for the really specific PC games like RTSs or your MOBAs and things like that.
They'll announce an expansion for World of Warcraft Classic. I was like, guys, you missed the entire fucking point.
Yeah. They made the squirrel models slightly better.
So I think then that just leaves Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Okay,
We
so
may want to cut the recording so we can have
what-
a free 2 hours.
okay.
This always ends up being the longest
Yeah.
in the pre-3 videos.
Well, no, not necessarily because, unlike a lot of years, we kind of know what they're going to be showing ahead of time.
Yeah.
Well, we have a better. Well, I mean,
We have a better idea than what we usually do.
We also said that last year though, and last year they only showed Smash Brothers. So
Yeah. Well, we have an actual list of games, though, because they've formally announced a number of things. Like,
Okay.
we know they're kind of going to have to show Animal Crossing or their fans will completely riot.
if there's no Animal Crossing, people will actually get murdered.
Yeah.
So they
People
kind of
die.
they will kind of, barring behind the scenes stuff, they will have to show Animal Crossing. They'll have to show Luigi's Mansion 3. They'll have to show Pokemon.
Yes.
They'll have to show Astral Chain because that's coming out
That's
in
coming out
August.
soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll probably show Daemon X Machina.
Yeah, they'll probably show Daemon
Oh,
X
yeah.
Machina. They'll probably not spend a lot of time, but show a little bit of Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Or at the very least announce, a Fire Emblem Direct.
Likewise, I expect to see a little bit of Mario Maker, but not a ton.
Yeah.
Well, Mario Maker has its own thing. It's got the Invitational, which I think will hopefully have all of the Mario Maker stuffed in it.
Yeah.
And I think that they'll probably, because that comes out like what, 2-3 weeks before the game comes out.
Yeah.
I think they're going to show a bunch of dumb courses, which will be funny. We'll see a better look at how the multiplayer works, and I think the big reveal will be a new skin, hopefully Mario 2, because I love that skin.
I wouldn't be surprised if they still spent like maybe a minute on a sizzle reel.
Yeah, you know what? If they have like footage of it in a sizzle reel, I hope that they don't dedicate any time for it other than that. But
And the other thing they will definitely show is more Smash DLC, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
you want to go ahead and explain what you think might happen for that?
The rumor going around that I've been hearing, there's no credibility to it, but it's kind of the thing that's been floating around is that because of how early they announced Joker, and obviously they've been working on every one since, we make it a somewhat shadow drop, like DLC character who's coming out within like the next 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
And they'll tease DLC 3. Unless they really decide to do another Smash Mini Direct thing out of nowhere like they did with Joker.
Because the time frame for the DLC releases, everything has to be. They want everything to be out by February 2020,
which means you have
4
by the
characters
time
left.
of year in mid-June you have 4. You have 6 months. You have like 6 months to get 4 characters out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So drop
July,
someone at
August.
E3, drop someone at
Around
E3,
E3, yeah.
Yeah,
or around E3, and then announce someone at E3.
Yeah, they've got 8 months left, which means roughly 1 character every 2 months.
Yeah.
If they want to be on time with it, they could stuff all 5 at the end and be like,
We technically made our promise.
yeah. So I think guessing Smash characters
Is a fruitless venture at this point.
Yeah.
We've already discussed it to hell and back.
Yeah. So I can't wait for Minecraft Stew to be in Smash Brothers.
Sans Undertale, baby.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah, fuck you all.
Bubsy the Bobcat.
Oh yeah.
Fuck out of here. You know, Paws of Fire is also coming out. Did it already come out?
I think it's already out.
It didn't
Fuck
meet
you,
its
dude.
Kickstarter,
Yeah, it didn't even need a Kickstarter.
which makes me happy.
That's
Thank God.
Because the joke's over now. Because the game,
The
the first
joke
game
is
came
over.
over. So the first game came out. So it's like people are done with it. It's like, oh, this is still going. So
Yeah. That game still goes for like $40.
yes, it does.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's just
They
go.
will usually have. There will definitely be like 1 or 2 surprises though that we don't know about because that's Nintendo.
Pikmin 4? Pikmin 4? Anybody? No? Just me? Okay.
Just go bug Miyamoto about it.
Pikmin 4 was announced like 5 years ago.
I see some folks telling me Metroid Prime 4, and I was like, you guys,
No.
you guys are living a pipe here.
Because they completely restarted
Yeah.
development
Restart
like in
development.
February,
It's
right?
like,
Yeah.
Do not expect Metroid Prime 4.
No.
It's not going to happen.
The only dead quote unquote game you might see is Bayonetta 3 at some point. But
I would like to
doubt
see
that.
Bayonetta 3.
I don't
Yeah.
think so because I think Platinum wants to promote Astral Chain first, and then
Probably.
Yeah.
they'll finally show up Bayonetta 3. towards the
Bayonetta
end
3
of the year.
demo and Astral Train.
Oh, thanks, Brave Fencer Musashi.
And Zone of the Enders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's why people bought Zone of the Enders, because they want to play Metal Gear Solid 2.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah. But so to talk about some of the games themselves for a little bit,
Animal Crossing is Animal Crossing.
I don't know. Well, the thing is that I feel like they can't just have New Leaf on Switch.
It needs to be a
But I
much
don't-
bigger online component to it.
I don't know what they're gonna do aside from having it be New Leaf on Switch.
It needs to have a bigger online
I'll
component.
buy it if it's just New Leaf on Switch.
Yeah, same.
You know?
Oh, that well.
And you'll buy it, and the fan base will come out a week later. When's the next Animal Crossing game?
Yeah.
It's like you literally have a game that's going to last you a good 2 or 3 years
Like-
on its own.
Yeah, but I want more of it.
Yeah, but
Fuck you.
see, I am a little bit salty at the Animal Crossing people because
Oh, they
your
get so
series,
whiny about
your
everything.
series has gotten consistent love for the past 5 years. Like,
Well,
I mean,
well,
granted,
it's gotten a release on every system except the Wii U since the N64.
yeah, but like, I mean, granted, Amiibo Festival was bad, sure, okay, but you got Happy Home Designer, you got Pocket Camp, you got
If New Leaf got supported for 3 years
Yeah.
like New Leaf got a huge expansion like 2 years ago or something like that. So
in 2016,
yeah, 26. Okay, so
3 years.
2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
So come on,
you get,
guys,
you
come
get
on.
content. Stop fucking whining.
Okay, here's the thing, though. I don't think Pocket Camp had as much impact as
no.
they wanted it to have.
No,
because when New Leaf was all the buzz, I saw everybody talking about New Leaf. I don't
Yeah.
see anybody talking about Pocket Camp.
Pocket Camp's missing too many
all.
features.
It's missing too many features. The point is they get stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, but if someone gives you a piece of shit, that's technically stuff. I don't have to like it.
No one's saying that. It's a matter of your franchise isn't. They act like Animal Crossing is some C-tier franchise that never gets any love from Nintendo. It's like,
No,
it,
it's a
gets,
money maker.
it shows up on basically everything.
Yeah.
You can stop your whining. It's like, oh no, Animal Crossing didn't come out the first few years of the Switch, so most franchises didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know it's coming.
You know, I want exactly one feature for Animal Crossing Switch. I want to be able to designate where the fuck people build their shit so they stop trading
no!
like flowers.
Oh
I
God.
put so much work into those
That's a
paths.
perfect fruit tree, you asshole.
My petunias.
Oh, someone made speeches for me.
Thanks, Rosie. Jesus Christ. Okay. But yeah, I think easier online connection, I think, would be something.
But I think it's a
Yeah.
given the
Yeah,
infrastructure
you know.
of the Switch.
Yeah, I think they need to because otherwise you're running the risk of the games getting very samey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
They're
Animal
always
Crossing is Animal
well,
Crossing.
Yeah,
people
but-
don't want the base gameplay to change, so them
No,
being samey
I'm
is
not
not
saying.
the point.
Yeah, that's not inherently what I was.
But yeah,
referring to
sure,
that.
that's fine. Yeah.
Honestly, all they need to do is like add 1 or 2 minor new features, add some more fish. There you go. People will buy it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Luigi's Mansion 3, I really hope comes out this year.
October is like a given, spooky month. Like, I'd like to see more of the game structure for 3.
Yeah.
Because
I need to know if it's Mission or Mansion 1.
Well, I think it is Mission.
No, they never said anything about it.
They never say anything about it?
No.
I recall saying that it's Mission, but there's not as many mansions.
No, there's only one. It's a hotel.
It's a hotel tower thing.
Yeah, so hotel.
Hotel Mario?
No, Hotel Luigi.
Yeah, there was also.
Dear Plesky vacuumers,
If
I have absconded with Mario. If you wish to see him back, please come to my giant Boo Hotel.
So I'm trying to remember the Game Explained analysis. Like, there was some hints that Luigi would not be the only playable character. That maybe Mario, Peach, and Toad would also be playable.
We don't know what the structure is. I would not mind individual missions as long as it doesn't boot you out and just keep you limited.
Just keep it consistent.
I would like to be able to feel like I'm exploring the area.
Yeah.
Which, if you're gonna do that, it needs to be one continuous linear mission. I feel. Give us side quests in the middle of like the adventure. Like maybe EGAD pops up and. I guess it'd be a Switch like device if he's gonna be.
Well, it'll be a Wii. It's always a gen behind, so it'll be a Wii U game.
It'll be a Wii U. But you gotta try the console too.
Yeah.
Where's he getting the signal from?
A Wii Boo.
Yeah. What is he getting the signal from? I feel if you're gonna make it if you're gonna make it feel like as linear as Luigi's mentioned it needs to be just one giant mission with side quests thrown in between.
Yeah.
But don't interrupt like gameplay for that sort of thing. Just like EGAD said, there's actually something you can check out here if you want. For maybe like extra cash or some other shit.
So it did seem to be pulling a lot of design elements from, like aesthetically at least, from Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. And I'm sure that Next Level Games is working on the game. So like I'm sure that they're still gonna have like the green ghosts and whatnot.
Yeah,
I want something.
I need more ghost variety.
Yeah, well I want something to replace the portrait ghosts. Yeah. Like it doesn't have to be the same exact thing, obviously.
I mean you can have like tenants in the hotel or something.
Yeah, but like I don't need to have like it be like, the blue painted portrait goats, but I want something to fill that void, because that was something that I felt was missing in Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Is that one cool thing about Luigi's Mansion is that every room felt unique in that way, and while I will credit Dark Moon for having very original puzzles, it made it feel more like a traditional point and click adventure and less like the first Luigi's Mansion. So
which is Resident Evil with ghosts.
Yeah. So
the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah. So I'm interested. That's a game that we already know that it looks good, but I really would appreciate details for that one.
Yeah.
Do you think we get any Bayonetta 3 at all?
I would like to.
I
can't say for sure, but I would love to.
I'm going to bet no, because I think Platinum wants to promote Astral Chain.
Well, Astral Chain looks awesome.
Yeah, but the point is that I don't think they will, because they want to promote Astral Chain. And then for the Winter Direct, they'll finally show Bayonetta 3.
Can you look up real quick when Bayonetta 2 came out and Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance?
Original Bayonetta 2.
Bayonetta 2. Oh, yeah, that's right. It came out for
Wii U.
For the Wii U and all that stuff. Original Bayonetta 2 and Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, because I think those came out around the same time. So if they could do that for those two, I don't see why they can't do a Bayonetta 3.
Okay, so Bayonetta 2 was 2014 September. Metal Gear.
Yeah, that sounds right. That game's 5 years old.
Yes, it is.
Revengeance came out February 19, 2013.
So about a year gap. Yeah.
Okay,
so Astral Chain this year, Bayonetta 3 next year.
Yeah.
Early next year, I'll help with it at the very least. Again,
we'll see.
Show something. Yeah, give me a trailer.
Like I said, I don't think we'll see it at E3. I think we'll see it later this year after Astral Chain comes out.
Gap.
For between Rising
and Bayo.
There had to be some simultaneous development.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean.
Well, Astral Chain, we kind of got an idea of the world. I don't expect the story to be good because it's Platinum.
It's Platinum.
Yeah. So, but I would really like to see the
more
gameplay,
how the game works,
because it looked like a really cool game to watch. But as somebody who's terrible at that kind of game, I'm kind of wondering what if the gameplay will be maybe more my speed than Bayonetta 2 was.
Then again, did you play Bayonetta 2?
Oh, well, Bayonetta 1 was, sorry.
I think Bayonetta 1 was really the testing grounds for Platinum. I feel that I don't think you'll have anything to worry about, because Bayonetta 2 really did help streamline Bayonetta 1's design and make it more accessible to everybody else.
Yeah.
I think you'll love it. I honestly, God, do think you'll love it, and the refurbished mechanics they brought along. Yeah. So if they continue that design philosophy with Astral Chain, then I think we have a good game on our hands.
Will I still hate every character?
Define hate every character.
Everybody's an asshole.
Oh, I don't know.
Probably.
Wait,
that means
Bayonetta 2?
Yeah.
I mean, you'll probably hate Loki. Loki's the fucking worst.
Yeah, Loki's annoying.
Like, Luca's barely there. Bayo's kind of more serious in this game.
Well, because Jean's
Yeah.
kind of in purgatory.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Wouldn't being in purgatory be better for her than either of the two other
Well, okay,
options?
her soul was taken to Inferno.
Yeah.
And you have to go to Inferno to rescue her.
Yeah.
So
Do you need Dante from the Devil May Cry
No, you
series?
don't.
No, not yet.
That's kind of what everybody wants.
Well, going into the Inferno was literally what Dante did in Dante's Inferno.
That's
I
the
thought
joke.
that was just the name of a bar. But
Hey, if we get Dante and Devil May Cry, we can have. I mean, in Smash Bros, we can have Bayo and Dante.
Bayo and Dante meet up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That can be excited, actually.
PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale 2 looks great. Any wild card predictions? Because there's always one or two surprises.
I brought it up as a joke. My pipe dream is Pikmin 4. I do not expect it to happen in the slightest. But if it did, I would be really, really happy.
Cube of War 2. That's my pipe dream.
Cube of War 2.
Why do you always bring up Vor, gosh?
I'm running down the franchises, and I can't think of any that I would like a new edition of.
So, I know this isn't not Prime 4, but a new 2D Metroid on Switch would be cool.
As much as I would love that, I don't see it.
I don't, it's
Yeah,
not like...
especially-
Well, then again, it'd be a different development studio. You know, it's not like Retro Studios has to make all the games.
Like, they could make the people who did Samus Returns did
Mercury's
fine.
team.
Yeah, they did fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that game
it was
has...
a fine outing.
Yeah, so, like, I'd be good with, like, and they were teasing Metroid 5 kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and Metroid Fusion ends on a cliffhanger, a lot of people forget.
Metroid Fusion ended also, like, 30,000 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, if Metroid 5 was going to be a thing, it would have been something 10 years ago.
Well, I mean, no, they can still do it now, but like,
Sure.
they're not going to call it Metroid 5, but,
No.
you know, a new 2D Metroid I think would be really cool.
Yeah.
You know, like, continue the story that you left off where Samus is an outlaw, technically.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
would love that, but I'm not holding my hopes high for a new Metroid game. 2D Metroid game.
Yeah. I don't expect Kirby because Star Allies just came out.
We do not need another Kirby game anytime
Well,
soon.
they have kind of teased that when they do a new Kirby game, it's going to be something different.
Well, I
And a lot
hope
of-
so. After even the development studio seemed absolutely tired of making the same game 4 times.
Well, that's the thing is that the things that fans expect, the thing that fans expect is that when Kirby comes back, it will be a real 3D game, and so I don't expect that this year.
No.
What's taking them so long making a 3D Kirby game?
We were going to get one on the GameCube, but
Yeah, it just
It seems like something that would translate easily.
I don't know. It must have there must have been development problems making it fit well. Like the thing is that like Kirby 64 was trying to do like the 2.5D thing, and then Kirby wasn't on consoles for a while. Is the other thing you have to remember because he was on Game Boy and then on DS. And then
his GameCube outings are all side projects.
Yeah, and then when Kirby came out on Wii, that was when Nintendo was doing a whole bunch of 2D platformers again with Mario and Donkey Kong.
That's
and
when
whatnot.
Super Mario Brothers Wii came out, was super popular and sold super well. Just hey, do that for the rest of our
So
franchise.
that's why it's called Return to Dreamland.
Yeah, because it's and
It's,
so,
it's the Super Mario Brothers Wii of Kirby.
okay.
and then once they had that engine and that game was well received, they again jumped to the 3DS where they could make a game that looks like that but portable. And then they made Triple Deluxe, which is fantastic, and they made Robobot, which is also fantastic. And then since they also still had that engine, then they made Star Allies, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
So
Despite what people say.
yeah, no, it's got,
It's a fine enough game. It's just really shallow.
yeah, it's
Comparatively.
gotten better over like the main mode is pretty weak sauce. The other stuff's pretty good. It's the weakest out of the 4, I will say,
Yeah,
but
it's not even close to the other 3.
but it's still good. So I'm not expecting Kirby really. Oh, Link's Awakening. We'll probably
Oh,
see.
yeah.
Totally
We'll
fuck.
see.
Forget about that. We'll see that.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the thing is,
fuming Zelda fan in this thing, it's like, it's so obvious.
I mean, the thing about that is it's a remake and it's a very simple remake.
Yeah.
It's not like
looking forward to it, though.
yeah. I mean, I am too. It's just a matter of, it's not like, say, Link Between Worlds level of different hey, we're taking the same character designs, philosophy, the same game philosophy, but we're changing a lot of things. No, this looks to be a straight remake of it.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but
yeah.
you can only get so excited about a game you've technically already
Link's
played.
Awakening's biggest fault was the system it was built for.
Yeah.
So if you just give that to me on Switch, make it as accessible as Link to the Past or Link Between Worlds, that's all I need.
Yeah, they've already seemed to do stuff like you can have more than one thing now.
Yeah.
So,
Thank God.
Because you have more than 2 buttons.
Yeah, so there's that. Like, I doubt we'll see pretty much anything else Zelda related.
Yeah.
And I doubt we'll see a Dynasty Warriors crossover because they're doing Persona 5 instead. Yeah. So,
we'll probably see some footage from that.
Probably.
Yeah, well, maybe not at Nintendo, but, somewhere we'll probably see some of that. I guess the only other big game from Nintendo that we can expect is Pokemon, I would think.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. This is Ted from the future. So, the Sword and Shield Direct and the Pokemon press conference were announced just a couple of hours after we finished recording the PrE3 discussion. So, we're not going to be, acknowledging that exists at all during this. So, yeah. I mean, I guess you could take what we're saying and apply it to the Sword and Shield Direct or something. I guess you could do that. Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled bullshit.
Which, it's weird to expect Pokemon at E3 because most of my life it's never happened, but the past few years it's been there.
I think Nintendo finally strong-armed Game Freak into doing it because they're like, hey, this is a worldwide property. You can't just keep showing it to Japanese magazines.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're going to see our not Rattata and our not Pidgey, and all that. But what else?
We'll probably see the legendaries.
Yeah.
What else would you like to see from Sword and Shield, though?
Gun.
No.
Yes, gun.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
I would like to see the team.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're not fucking
Team
Flare.
Gun.
Team Gun.
Really,
it's really just...
I'm not expecting much besides it being a prettier Sun and Moon.
Yeah, more or less. I would like to see more branching paths or non-linearity to it.
Yeah.
Because I think the Pokemon games in particular have gotten really, really bad with just railroading you everywhere.
I mean,
you're talking Gen 1?
Well, no, here's the thing.
More like Gen 2, where you have a path and you have to do it, but we're giving you options.
How you get there is up to you.
Yeah, because a lot of people forget, Gen 1's fairly non-linear for an RPG. Gen 2, a lot of people forget you can do gyms.
You can do
4, 5, and 6. No, I think it's 5, 6, and 7 in any order you want. There's 2 extra caves that open up that you can completely skip. There's tons of mini games and side quests.
You have the entire second half of the game in count. You can do it any order you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Gen 2 is an extremely non-linear game, which a lot of people kind of ignore. Yeah, and the current trend of Pokemon being very straightforward started with Gen 5, and I love Gen 5.
Yeah.
Gen 5's
But that is a straight shot game.
Yeah, the line is literally straight, and there's no branches.
I think, to be fair, in Gen 5, I think they did that to tell a story. Gen 5 often is often having the best story.
And that's fine because it's telling a great story.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you get to Gen 6, which has an awful story, and it's just as linear, and it sucks.
Yeah, and then Gen 7,
it has better characters, but the story's kind of okay.
The story, the story has ups and downs, and it is roughly as linear, yeah. I think there's a few more side areas in 7, but not really enough, I would say, to make it feel like, a sprawling adventure, which is what Pokemon kind of drives on. So, having it be a more non-linear game, I think, would be good. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Or even if it's just, more side areas. Like, the main plot is linear, but you go to this town and the plot drives you east, but hey, there's a cave in the west you can explore. You don't have to, but you can.
Give us more reasons to backtrack. That's a weird request to make of an RPG, but legitimately, I feel like getting an HM and then going back to an area or ride Pokemon, obviously, since they're much better than HM.
Yes.
Just flat out.
Never get rid of ride Pokemon, please.
Yeah, please. Just anytime you get a new ride Pokemon, hey, here's all these areas that now open up because you have that. That would be cool.
maybe being able to mark where you see a cut tree or something.
And not just, you can push boulders now, push it 1 foot, and there's an item you didn't get before.
Yeah. Also, following Pokemon, bring that back, please.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Please.
You have the animations. Right. You have the models.
Yeah, Let's Go did that right.
Yeah, I'm a little annoyed that that we're back to grass and crap and not having Pokemon be in the overworld
encounters.
Because here's the thing, having the Pokemon, it's a little bit different when it's Let's Go and it's overhead. But especially since the world feels more three-dimensional from the footage we saw of Sun and Moon than we ever did, it's going to feel way more lifeless than if we saw all of these Pokemon running around in the wild and doing stuff, you know? Because, I know this is slightly off topic, but Detective Pikachu really made you feel like you were living in a world that was covered with these creatures. And so it's really weird when you have this 3D world that you're exploring and then everything's empty, but if you walk in this grass, then there will be one there.
Yeah.
You know? The immersion, I think, would be really helped by having, and also you would know where you would know that rare Pokemon are there, because there's nothing more infuriating than not knowing where the last Pokemon on the thing is, and it's like, oh, it's a 1% encounter in Route 22, and you're like, well, how the hell was I supposed to know? Bring back the goddamn Black and White 2 Pokedex that said you've caught everything in this route, please.
Game Freak is really bad about just having good ideas in games and then they toss it out because a completely different team made the next game.
They also, well, you see, the thing is that they'll also toss out the bad ideas when the next game comes out, too, because I still think Mega Evolution was dumb. But, whatever.
Yeah, I never really cared about that concept.
Yeah, so, we'll probably find out what whatever gimmick they're going to do.
What the gimmick of this one is.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really need them to do a gimmick. Part of why Gen 2 and 5, I feel like I connected with them the most is because, Gen 2 fixed a lot of crap.
Yeah.
But they didn't add a gimmick, really. You could argue that maybe, okay, they did add several gimmicks, but they didn't add anything that was this is the one big new feature for the game, they just established on stuff. And the same thing with 5, the battle system in 5 is almost identical to the one in 4, just with more stuff. And
it's faster.
Yeah. So... honestly, just leave the battle system alone. It's Pokemon. People like playing Pokemon and focus on the world instead, because that's the most important part. Yeah. I don't need a super duper flashy.
Which, to be fair, even from the small teaser we got, it looks to be Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
Battles, speaking. So
yeah,
maybe it will be focused on just world building.
I would like that. Yeah.
Is there anything else that we need to discuss?
Not that I can think of. I think Nintendo's going to have a fairly standard year because they already announced that there's no hardware revisions coming.
Probably spend 5-10 minutes on not 10 minutes, but 5 minutes on an indie sizzle reel.
Probably.
So Switch has actually been pretty decent with indie stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we may see Shantae 5 or something.
Oh yes.
I would love to see that.
I didn't know when to bring this up, but there's a part of me. All right, so this is kind of my pipe dream because I only say pipe dream because I feel it's certain, but Mega Man X9. I would like to see an announcement for that.
I would too, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Because it's already been teased.
When did they tease it?
It's been teased multiple times.
When?
Legacy Collection. Legacy Collection.
Oh, okay.
They have the listing of all the Mega Man games with the X8, and there is a deliberately blank spot next to X8, teasing future
X9.
game.
And they basically said that if 11 does well, they'll think about bringing back other...
And from what I hear, X Legacy did well. Yeah. At least for the Switch. Because I don't know what the story is for the other ones, but I would like... I don't know what conference, but I think Nintendo will be the most obvious. Yeah. But announce X9. I would love it.
So I guess that just leads into general pipe dreams you would wish to see that seem at least somewhat feasible.
Well, it's always F-Zero for you. Just put another number on the chalk.
No F-Zero. No F-Zero is the free space on the Nintendo. I mean, but beyond F-Zero, which I think is just really unfair that they haven't tried an F-Zero with online components.
Yeah.
I thought, my thing on that, just to cover that real quick, is that I thought, what was the name of that game? Fast Racer Neo?
Yeah. Fast Racing Neo.
Did it not do well at all?
It was a Wii U game.
Yeah, it was a Wii U game that got made for the Switch later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fans liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good game. It's a matter of... I have no grounds of ever thinking this, but I've said it multiple times. I seriously think it's just Miyamoto is just really petty that Sega made the best F-Zero game.
I think he's not that petty, but...
you know how things go between Japanese developers sometimes.
I guess so, but at the same...
I have no grounds to prove any of it, but I just think that's
what it feels like, at least.
Yeah.
God.
I mean, the other possible realistic thing is because that I'm going to suggest is from Nintendo, it may be time to bring back Golden Sun. The anime kind of the anime RPGs have been doing better on their systems, whether it's be Xenoblade stuff or
Fire Emblem.
Yeah, Fire Emblem. This may be a good time to bring it back.
Who developed Golden Sun?
That
Oh, it was
Camelot.
Camelot. Yeah, okay.
So I think this may be a good time to bring that back. Not in like a super high profile, this is our huge JRPG that's going to fill the void for the next 3 years sort of thing, but a mid-sized JRPG kind of like...
Well, that's kind of what the games were.
Yeah, but
right?
that's what I'm saying. It's like you could bring Golden Sun back as, Fire Emblem came out, we announced Golden Sun for 2020, that's our RPG for next year.
Yeah, people would love that. Nora, what about you?
My pipe dream is always a new Star Fox, like not another 64 type game, but like a new thing. It's never gonna happen. Like Zero bombed too hard.
Zero was like one of the lowest selling Nintendo games.
It's easily the worst selling Star Fox game. And I think it's saying something next to... No, Command sold relatively well.
It sold okay.
Because it was on the DS and everybody had a DS.
I think my other pipe dream is honestly just a new IP. I'd like to see a new
Yeah, I would like that. Like, I'd like to see a new IP on the level of Splatoon is the thing. Because we've seen them, like, dip their toes in for stuff that's, like, 3DS things.
And stuff.
Yeah, and some of those end up being great. Like, Pushmo, for example, was some of my favorite games on the 3DS. But that's also a very simple puzzle game. So, like, I'd like, a bigger game that they're putting focus on in a new IP, I think would also be cool. Good, yes.
As much as I would like that, there's a part of me that feels that's not a prerogative because of ARMS. ARMS was an attempt, and it's all it was, because they dropped that hard.
I think ARMS was kind of like their half-assed attempt to strike on the Splatoon bandwagon.
Yeah, but it didn't work.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it was pretty half-assed.
I still think they're in the recoil on the ARMS flatlining. I don't want. It was a moderate. Okay.
Like
sorry.
no people.
That wasn't intentional.
Okay, it sold almost entirely because nothing else was on the Switch at the time.
Well, it sold fine and reception was fine. I know some people who really like the game,
but most people are just kind of
But not what Nintendo expected for a first party.
Like but the thing is that I don't think that they can. I don't want them to let that keep them from because that is a Nintendo problem though. Is as soon as something
goes wrong,
fails, they stop.
To me, I would like them to revitalize an old IP first that they haven't used in years before they make a new one.
Yeah, whether it's F-Zero, Advance Wars, what have you.
What's another one?
Ice Climbers.
Yeah.
Ice Climber puzzle platformer. That's been free money as $10 download game.
Another pipe dream. Won't ever happen probably. Kid Icarus Uprising too.
Yeah.
Dude,
use actual twin sticks.
Dude, they missed their chance for the Wii U because that would have been perfect because you would have had twin stick option and control and stylus option. Mm-hmm. Like that's why I'm never expecting another Trauma Center ever again because there's no way to do IR pointer anymore. So I'm never getting a Trauma Center again, which sucks. But like a Kid. I don't know what they would do because I don't think Sakurai wants to make another one.
That is a game I want to love more, but I hate the fucking controls so much.
Yeah, but I don't think Sakurai wants to make another one because he doesn't like
Sakurai. Like, give it to somebody
else.
else.
But I also don't think that they're gonna want to have somebody other than him do it. Is also the thing.
The Uprising serves as a foundation. Learn from that and go from there.
Port it up.
Yeah. At least port it up if you don't want to make a new game from ground up. At the same time, it doesn't necessarily have to be Sakurai development because it's. Did they ask for the blessings of Gunpei Yokoi when they remade Uprising? No, he's dead, obviously.
Wow.
But Sakurai isn't dead yet.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's not in charge of the franchise. I think he was just someone they asked to help make the game. And, it was a fantastic product marred by a god-awful control scheme. But that doesn't mean he, has the property now in his claws. No. I just feel it's like Uprising now serves as a basis for something you should follow. So just do that again with a better control scheme.
Yeah, but...
You don't have to have Sakurai in charge of that.
Yeah, but I just knowing that Japan...
Besides, he's an indie developer. He's got his hands tied with Ultimate already. So.
Yeah, man, I can't believe one guy made that whole thing.
Yeah. The whole game.
But, I mean, I think it's just due to the fact that there's, when you make something in, I'm not going to speak like I'm an expert in Japanese culture, because I'm not, but from what I can tell, there's kind of this thing where it's kind of seen as a faux pas and to make something that was considered someone else's creation, or continue it without their blessing.
Yeah.
So I mean, they should just ask Sakurai to give them their blessing.
But
and just
it wasn't his to begin with, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird because it kind of functionally is.
Is it?
Because really,
Kid Icarus wasn't relevant until he brought it back.
Yeah.
From
it wasn't relevant until.
But he didn't make it though.
Here's the thing, though. He made it important in any way, shape, or form. How much of Kid Icarus Uprising, aside from tongue-in-cheek nods, has anything to do with 1 and 2 on the NES and Game Boy games?
Well,
it's kind of the same issue Persona's got too. Like, people talk about Persona 1 and 2 not existing, but the guy who directed those games isn't with Atlas anymore. That's why they don't mention it other than, like, tiny hints or nods. They only talk about P3, P4, P5, because
those are the popular ones.
Those are the popular ones, but also, like, they don't reference back to P1 and P2 anymore, really.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not them not being popular. I mean, it's Atlas. They're the most niche company on the planet. No, NIS. NIS is more niche than Atlas, which is impressive, to be fair.
I'm in your base killing your dudes.
Yeah, so, but yeah, because, like, Atlas will reference obscure crap all the time.
Except Snowboard Kids.
Yeah.
So it's not just a matter of, it's not important. I think that also is I mean, granted, I agree with you. I would love an Uprising too, but
we'll have to.
That is a
pipe dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like,
we'll see.
For me, Pikmin 4 is the big one. I already mentioned that. But I don't think I would be as salty about Pikmin 4 if they didn't mention it.
Yeah. So I think, just to wrap things up a little bit, I think Nintendo's going to have a very good but standard year at E3.
It'll depend on how impressive each individual game looks.
Yeah.
For sure. Microsoft, I think, has the most to lose but the most to gain.
Yeah. Sony will just kind of be on the side doing its own thing with their state of play.
Yeah.
And the third parties just won't matter much.
Yay!
Except for the console you buy for.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm looking forward to a few weeks from now when we have to do our post E3 video and shows just how wrong we were about everything.
I mean, that could be a good thing, to be fair.
Crash Bandicoots and Smash.
Oh, I would love that.
Dude, Banjo, if they're ever going to have Banjo be in Smash, it's going to be
It'd be hilarious if Crash gets in Smash, because there was I assume John might remember that rumor of the late Super Nintendo game that some guy kind of made that had Crash, Sonic, and Mario in it at the same time.
I don't remember that at all.
There was like some weird ass rumor in like going around at like 97 for some reason that had like all three of them in the same game together.
What, Sonic as well?
Yeah.
In a Super Nintendo game, but he'll still
Sega that was the thing. It was like there was some weird ass rumor that was in like some really stupid magazine at the time.
It was probably like April Fool's.
Probably. No, I don't remember it being.
Well, still, the fact that Crash would be in Smash Brothers and not in All Stars Battle
would be
Royale
hilarious.
Yeah.
Would
that would be tragic, but welcoming at the same time.
But yeah. Any last thoughts on PrE3?
No, not really. I mean, we spent long enough already because Nintendo already doubles the size of our damn discussion videos.
Yep. That's why we make them separate. On
wait.
Oh, what's up?
Sonic.
Do we want to? I mean, what? We don't know anything about the rest of the year besides. Team Sonic Racing's already out at the time of this recording.
Yeah.
So.
Sonic Pinball.
No.
Fourth Mania playthrough. Fourth Mania playthrough.
Sonic or Sega are usually about announcing mainline Sonic games in March or April. We haven't heard nothing from them in a long time. There was the thing about the Sonic Adventure remakes being canned.
Yeah.
And I do think though that is their next objective, is getting those good to go. No matter how long it takes, that is their next big project, are the Adventure remakes.
If they're starting them now and they aim to get them out for the 30th anniversary,
it'll be ready by 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
They might actually make a polished game.
Yeah.
I know, right?
A game that like has gone through multiple iterations and they realize the problems and fix them before release.
That's a real pipe dream.
This is an
Oh my
entirely
God.
different discussion video. I swear to Christ, we can spend like maybe 2 hours discussing on Sonic Adventure remakes.
Yeah.
So let's not do that now.
Okay.
But let's just...
We'll cross that bridge if we ever get to it.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. When we get to it. It's not a matter... I don't even think it matters if at this point. It's a matter of when. The demand is too high. People are asking for it too much.
Yeah.
And Crash Bandicoot remake and Spyro just set the precedent that there is money in it.
Yeah, so I think that'll about do it for PrE3. See you in about
a couple
2.5, 3 weeks when we...
Our follow-up video.
Yep, as we always do. Good
All
night,
right.
everyone.
See you later.
Bye.
Good night.